And continuing our Newsmaker now with Hornell Mayor John Buckley. Mr. Mayor, thank you for joining us today.
Hey, good morning, Brian. Thanks for having me on.
How are things going, Mayor John Buckley?
Well, obviously it's an incredibly difficult time. It's an incredibly busy time, not just here in the city of Hornell, but throughout the region, throughout the state, throughout the nation. In light of this pandemic, we're doing the best we can throughout it. Pulling all the resources from the county, state, and federal. Trying to get through this crisis the best we can. Obviously, it's difficult. Has a lot of different impacts on individuals, on families, on businesses. On different segments of the economy. So, first and foremost, I think it's imperative that we focus on the human aspect and really try to protect people, and that's what we've been doing, Brian, over the past month or so, and is really trying to get that message out to the folks about social distancing, and we've been taking our cues from the state, taking our cues from the federal government as well, as far as implementing some of these rules, and I think to a large extent it's been successful. People have been complying and been pretty good about it. Obviously, we've had Hornell's been a hotspot, but I think it's really been more focused in the nursing homes than anything. I think we're starting to see a decline in positive cases, so that's a good sign, and hopefully we're on the backside of the mountain.
State Senator Tom O'Mara and Congressman Tom Reed have both been pushing for reopening the economy. And when asked, would you include Hornell in that, both O'Mara and Reed have said yes. But I imagine that they mean phase by phase, not everything all at once. And based on what the governor's been pushing for and what we heard in the last half hour from Senator Borrello, it sounds like that's how it's going to happen when it does happen.
Yeah, and I think the phase-in approach is probably the correct approach. I don't think you can just simply flick a switch and have everything reopen simultaneously and go back to business as usual. I think we're dealing with a new reality, and once businesses do start opening, I think it's going to be a new reality for them. I've used the adage where I don't think everyone's just going to immediately run and jump in the swimming pool. I think a lot of people are going to stick their toe in, take the temperature of the water first. So I think a phase-in approach is probably the most appropriate way to do it. I know the governor has been talking in terms of not non-essential versus essential, but kind of ranking the sectors of importance and trying to do a slower phase-in like that. So I think, just to protect human lives and try to, as best we can to, lower the chances of spreading the virus any further than it has been, I think a phase-in approach is probably the most responsible thing to do.
I was just thinking, this COVID-19 situation, John, has been so life-changing in so many ways. The social distancing, the idea of not going over to friends and relatives' houses to see them, everybody talking on Zoom. Zoom is a household word. Heck, Darlene Smith is a household word in Steuben County. She's the Steuben County public health nurse. I don't think she was a high-profile person for years, and now all of a sudden, I don't even have to say the county public health nurse's name. In the newscast, I just say Darlene Smith says, and people know what I'm talking about. In so many ways, this has been a completely life-changing situation. You've been working with the county a lot. Have you been working with County Manager Jack Wheeler more than usual, Mayor Buckley?
Oh my gosh, Jack Wheeler and I have been spending so much time together, talking, not physically together, but on the phone together, and emails and texting. I was kind of joking with him about a week or so ago that I've been spending more time communicating with him than I have my wife lately. But Jack Wheeler, the county manager of Steuben County, has just been doing a phenomenal job, and he is just such a wonderful advocate for the residents of Steuben County, and Darlene Smith too. You just mentioned her. She's been a rock star through this whole crisis and pandemic. I mean, talk about advocating. I mean, she has been there on the front lines, really moving the ball forward, trying to get answers when answers are hard to come by. The two of them have been just great through this, and really, and I do work with the county throughout the year on various projects, and Jack Wheeler and I are in contact on a regular basis anyway. But during this pandemic, it's just been, you always hear the bad stuff about the pandemic, and there's a lot of bad news out there, obviously. But the silver lining is we have a great team, a great coalition of people here in Steuben County, here in our region, just working together with Jack and Darlene, working together with our state senator Tom O'Mara, Assemblywoman Marjorie Burns, Assemblyman Phil Palmisano, even Congressman Tom Reed. The group of us together have had more Zoom meetings, more phone conferences in the last month than I can ever remember. I mean, talk about we were talking about the nursing homes and how affected nursing homes are and have been in Hornell and throughout the state. But we put this team together, and we've been meeting. And when answers are hard to come by, when it's hard to get a hold of New York State Department of Health or the governor's office, we put all the pieces together and really collectively have been advocating for the residents, not just in Hornell, but around the district as well. So, I'm just very, very happy, very pleased, and proud to be part of that team. But yeah, Jack and Darlene at the county, those two are rock stars in my mind.
No doubt. May 15th or May 29th, what do you think will be the opening date for the Hornell area, Mayor Buckley? Are you hearing anything there?
Well, I think, the governor put out May 15th, and that's really, in my mind, when he said the 15th, that was really kind of a moving target. So I think what the governor's been doing, and rightfully so, is trying to put out a goal. Now, you might not reach that goal, but it's important to have a goal. So I think you have to, evaluate as you go along. You can't just arbitrarily say, May 15th is the drop-dead date, we're going to reopen everything. I think you have to kind of measure things as you go along, look at the numbers. Are we on the backside? Are we at the apex? The last thing you want to do is take one step forward and two steps back. So I think the governor has had the right approach. I think all our local officials, and you referenced Reed and O'Mara wanting to reopen. I don't think they want to just open everything up all at once. I think everyone is pretty much on the same page.
Right.
The governor is having more of a regional approach, which I think is a smart thing to do because upstate isn't exactly downstate.
Speaking with Hornell Mayor John Buckley, we're going to take a quick break and check the forecast. We'll be right back here on Newsmaker.
Courts Auto Collision.
Hi, Bill.
Never seen an insurance job we both can't make money on yet.
Bill?
And yes, I still have a free loaner car.
Bill, I just called to...
Courts Auto Collision, State Route 36, south of Canisteel, 698-9900. Online at McCourtsCollision.com.
Bill, for the first time in my life, you have left me speechless.
I am Bill McCourt.
Wow.
Checking in now with meteorologist Gary Best. How's it looking for this week, Gary?
Looking pretty good overall. We've got some showers coming up from time to time, also some sunshine, and a somewhat milder weather should return here into midweek. This morning's sunrise was at 6:10. It'll set at 8:07 p.m. this evening, and we're looking at generally a cloudy sky today, not a whole lot of sun, a few light showers, and cool. Temperatures only up near 45. Any showers in tonight, though, and then mostly cloudy, down between 32 and 36. Tomorrow, it will turn milder. Partly sunny skies. How about 54 to 58 for Tuesday afternoon? A few showers perhaps later Tuesday night around 40 to 45. And then we're looking at clouds and showers on Wednesday, but milder. High temperature then, Brian, around 60.
Back with Hornell Mayor John Buckley. Mayor Buckley, the other day, Hornell IDA consultant Sean Hogan was on the show, and he talked about how they were going to pass the program. Since then, they have passed this new Industrial Development Agency idea of Jim Griffin's. Can you tell us about it for helping local businesses?
Yeah, so a little while back, the county IDA started putting together a program where they would pool money together and help local businesses throughout the county. Well, Hornell is unique in the fact that we have our own IDA, where most municipalities in the county do not have their own IDA. They rely on the county IDA. We are well positioned where we have our own IDA. So we started having those discussions with Jim Griffin, the executive director, and Sean Hogan, and some of the board members, and we started to put together the framework of it about a week and a half ago. So we were happy to actually vote on it and approve it at our Thursday meeting via Zoom. So it's I think it'll be a huge benefit for the small businesses in the city. They'll be able to take short-term loans up to $20,000 to try to bridge them through this pandemic and the fiscal crisis that we're all facing. So I think it'll definitely be a positive. It's another tool in the toolbox. And the good thing about having a program administered locally is you don't have to worry about all the red tape you would if you're going through the state, if you're going through the federal government for something similar. This will be a lot quicker of a turnaround. The application process has been streamlined. So I think it's definitely a great thing to have here in the city. And that's what we're here for. That's what the city's for. That's what the IDA is for. We're here to help people. We're here to help our community and to move our community forward.
$20,000, John.
Yeah, it's between it's up to $20,000 for each small business.
That would be very helpful. Speaking with Mayor John Buckley live on this segment of the Newsmaker, we have Dr. Ismail Mayer coming up at 9. Stimulus Phase 4, Mayor Buckley. Any thoughts there?
Well, it's needed. The first three phases, or even Phase 3.5, which they just passed. Every phase that they've passed so far has been lacking a key ingredient, and that is funding for local governments. And this needs to be talked about. And I've talked about it on your radio show numerous times, and I know others have as well. Is this pandemic is having huge impacts on local governments, because when you close down the economy, everything else starts slowing down. Sales tax. People aren't buying houses. People aren't buying automobiles. People aren't just out shopping like they normally would. The restaurants are closed. All these different components of the economy have been either shut down completely or drastically reduced. Even gas prices, Brian, something that you might not think of, but when gas prices naturally decrease, so does sales tax revenue, because sales tax revenue is based on a percentage of gas sales. So if gas prices are $2.85 a gallon and it goes down to $2 a gallon, then your sales tax decreases. But now it's a double whammy, because not only have gas prices fallen dramatically, but no one's driving, right? You're not taking your kid to school.
Sure.
You're not picking them up from school. You're not taking your kids to the sporting events. You're not going to the mall. You're not going out to dinner. A lot of people are laid off, so you're not even driving back and forth to work, or you're working from home, so you don't have that daily commute. So all of these factors combine to they're really going to just hammer local governments, and then in local governments I mean cities, villages, towns, counties. We're going to take it on the chin this year, and that's why we had to reduce our budget to the point that we did. So long story short, the federal government really needs to be cognizant of the negative impact that it's having on local governments and try to backfill that. Now, this isn't created by the cities. This isn't created by the counties. We're all victims in this. I mean, there are no winners in this pandemic. There really aren't. But Mitch McConnell and that remark that he had.
Yeah, I was about to ask you what you thought of that.
And I totally disagree with it. And he needs to be a leader and step up to the plate and do something for local governments.
Speaking with Hornell Mayor John Buckley, what do you see as opening first, Mayor Buckley, when May 15th comes along, if that's the date for the city of Hornell, what do you see in terms of things opening up first that are closed right now?
Well, I think industry will probably be the first ones to start ramping up. Some of the industry in Hornell had received waivers to operate, albeit at a reduced capacity. So I think you'll start seeing those entities start bringing back employees to try to get up to that 100%. It won't happen all at once. It won't happen overnight. But I think that will probably be the first sector. Some of the smaller businesses I think will kind of come online a little bit after the fact. But again, I think the May 15th, the May 29th, those dates are floating. I think you have to kind of gauge where you are and look at the numbers on a daily and weekly basis, and not just the numbers overall, but regionally, and see where the numbers are declining and that rate of decline, because you don't want to all of a sudden start opening things up too fast and then have another spike in the numbers. So I think you have to be cautious. We've already gone this far. Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves and reopen too quickly where we have to start shutting things back down, because that's the last thing you want. You don't want to have to start ramping up and then ramp back down again. So I think we're doing the best we can. And let's be honest, Brian, we're in uncharted waters, right? This hasn't happened in our lifetime. So I think everyone, the governor, Congressman Reed, our team here with Senator O'Meara, I think we're all doing the best we can with the knowledge and the facts that we have at the time.
Mayor Buckley, we had Hornell School Superintendent Jeremy Pilati on the other day talking about the shutdown, how that's affecting schools, staff, teachers, and students. We talked about the upcoming graduation. Pilati seems to be leaning towards having an in-person graduation that would be delayed as opposed to an online graduation. That's what Pilati seems to be heading towards at the moment. You must be in at least frequent communication with the school superintendent. Do you have a sense of how that's gone for the students who are at home doing this online studying in amounts of time and for lengths of time that they've never done it before, John?
Well, I can speak from a parent's point of view, because I do have two children in the Hornell School District, and let me just say, Superintendent Jeremy Pilati and his faculty and staff have been just amazing through this whole pandemic. Talking about really kind of building the plane as you are in mid-flight. I think that's a term that he used, and they've really done that. With the curriculum. Via using email, using Zoom, using all these electronic means of communication. Even delivering packets of schoolwork to individual students throughout the district and providing meals on a daily basis. So the school district really hasn't stopped. They haven't really stopped delivering education. They've just changed the way and the means by which they've been doing it, and they've been doing yeoman's work. They really have. I know the school district in the city has just partnered with Empire to provide three Wi-Fi hotspots throughout the city and in our parks and then on Broadway. So we're making a lot of things happen. We're making the best of the situation. Just touching base on the graduation. I tend to agree with the superintendent. I think it's important to have that in-person graduation. Even if it can't be in June when it would normally be, if it's in July, if it's in August, just so you have it. That's a special moment for those seniors, and I don't think they should be deprived of it.
That's an excellent point, Mayor Buckley. You talked about hotspots there. Just recently, our station parking lot became a hotspot for those who want to go and sit in the parking lot who belong to the Canisteo Greenwood school system. And we have numerous people here on the Hill who have kids in the Canisteo Greenwood school system. Our station parking lot is a hotspot for that. it's also a place, I don't know if you know this, Mayor Buckley, where pizza delivery guys, it's hard to find some of the houses around here. It really is. Even if you've lived here all your life, some of these houses are so far in the woods. So the pizza delivery guys use I'm talking Giovanni's and Pizza King and probably others, use our station parking lot as a meeting place to drop off pizzas.
Do you ever intercept any of those pizzas, Brian?
I haven't done that yet, but it's a good idea. Speaking with Mayor John Buckley, down to the last 60 seconds or so. Any final thoughts, Mayor?
Yeah, I just want to. You mentioned Dr. Izzy Mears coming on. I just want to tell everyone what a great job that Dr. Meir and Dr. Rob Shaw and Brian O'Donovan, the CEO of St. James, they've just been doing a wonderful job in the face of an extraordinary pandemic. And think of it this way, Brian. Just a few short, couple short months ago, we were celebrating the opening of the new St. James, cutting the ribbon, and everyone was in full celebratory mode.
John, who would have thought that St. James would have been in the situation that it is now, where it has to face all these constant COVID-19 situations?
Yeah, exactly. But just in a blink of an eye,
right.
We went from celebrating a new facility to we're full on crisis management and crisis mode. But I just want to say what a wonderful job all our healthcare professionals have been doing at St. James and throughout our community. All the doctors and the nurses and the techs and the staff. And I think that's really a testament to the professionalism and Brian O'Donovan's leadership and Dr. Meir. I think it's great that you have Dr. Meir on every week, Brian. It's just getting that information from a medical professional's perspective out there to the community, I think has been invaluable, and we're very fortunate to have leaders like Izzy Meir in the community.
Completely agree. With that, we have to go. Mayor Buckley, thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Brian. You have a wonderful day.